Alrighty, folks, we're back. We're going to go through this quickly because we've got short on time, and I want to see if I can get through as much of this as possible. Let's go. Woo! Moment of the shooting. So, none of these ruffians were just the broker. I was still in the entrance of the shop. When Winnipeg threw Nash over the counter, he felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the store. I could see him with the people in the door. The accused in a black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flees to safety. I saw the blood splatter all over that wretched girl. Then she tossed the gun at a couple of people, so I picked it up and made my escape. Good gracious, this is quite extraordinary testimony. You claim, sir, under oath, to have clearly seen the defendant pulling the trigger. Order, order, order. It wasn't my intention to testify in this way. But neither is it my intention to be found guilty of a murder I didn't commit. So you see, my hand has been forced. I tell the truth now as an act of self-preservation. The truth. Until now, the prosecution was completely unaware of these details. Yes, well, sorry about that. Having shot me in the arm, the pawnbroker was then shot back by the accused. And as I said, she was shouted into the floor. You say the word smack, and the accused was sure of that. Oh yes, quite sure. All of that black order that pickpocket girl was ready to protect me. If her coat was could somehow be shown to harbor vestiges of blood, that would be conclusive evidence. Such information is impossible. What? Only very recently, a German scientist has developed a technique to identify blood. So here's to true science, not some amateurish detectives and dubious forays.
Except I'd argue hers is better, considering luminol only lights it up. It doesn't light it up in different colors.
There's nothing dubious about Hermes' work. His ideas are all sound. Ideas are all used. Science is wrong. Theories must be proven before they stand. Not wrong. Yeah, I was about to say, you're not wrong. In Germany, the technique has already been employed in court as the basis of evidence. Scotland Yard has a small quantity of the chemical reagent used. With your lordship's permission, we could shatter all vestiges of death in minutes.
The problem with that is it might not be the pawnbroker's blood, it could be the leftover blood from, because she's wearing the what's his face, gold jacket,
And it already has been proven to have
blood
iron bases.
Yeah, so that's that.
There is blood, but it's not.
It's not conclusive evidence, but we can't prove that either.
This doesn't look good.
Why not?
There's blood all over the front of Jay's coat. They tested the chemicals.
Oh, well, you're right. I was forgetting about what happened yesterday.
Yeah, we already know that it does have blood. No, Ginny, I'm going to shoot. We already do know it has blood.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, but the thing is, that in this case, the color doesn't matter.
But that's not Mr. Whitneybank's blood. That stains from 2 months ago. That's Mr. Mason's blood from when he was stabbed by Mr. McGilden, who was wearing the coat at the time. My lord, the defense objects to the test proposed by the prosecution.
The test proposed by the prostitution. Sorry, prosecution. Defense from the council. What were you proposing? What were you proposing just now? Do you have evidence that Benzis engages in those unscrupulous?
I don't know, my lord. but I do,
He does.
possibly...
He does tend to present his boot a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And those boots were made for life.
And I don't know about you, but some people find feet attractive.
Oh dear. Well, I hope those people get the help they need.
Yes, like touching grass.
Exactly. More bed seats. Make it so. Make it so, number one. With pleasure. And while we await the results, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination.
Once they find that blood on the overcoat, Gina will be...
Counsel,
Yes, my lord.
your cross-examination.
Of course, my lord. This cross-examination doesn't go well. If I don't manage to uncover some decisive evidence or a really compelling clue now, I have a very bad feeling about the outcome of this trial.
Alright. So I know what we need to press everything.
Gosh. But be on standby.
You said you were going to be the inspector, though.
Yeah, but I thought he was going to be gone for longer.
Okay. If you want to be the inspector, cool. If not, I can take care of it.
Not tonight.
Alright, I'll do it.
Hold it!
Mr. Weedybank emerged from the storeroom, I believe.
Ringo and Ash were scouring the counter when he suddenly appeared. He already had the ball in his hand. Unfortunately, I wasn't too close. I've never been so scared in all my life. Yeah, you're a regular wild man of burglars, that's all. I don't like violence.
Says the pair who carry a gun.
You're a gun for some friends.
What do you mean when you say you were near the entrance to the shop?
I was in the door, running my eyes on the shelves of forfeit items.
Looking for the music box, of course.
The burglar went for Nash in the first place. Then Ringo joined in, making it 2 against 1, so I assumed he would make it over the situation. But I was wrong. I was trying to help you cover up. He's a chunky overlooking account. It's like, we got it. And he's super made of smartphone. You said the let's walk over together. Shit. Sorry, Duff.
Hold it!
You mean that's the moment you were shot?
Yes. Though I didn't immediately realize what happened. Things crashed to the floor of the counter as the three men walked. I was at exactly that moment when it happened, so I didn't hear the gunshot.
And the bullet went off to strike the calendar in the wall behind you.
So I went here. When I looked at my arm, I saw it was bleeding out, so I wrapped my handkerchief around it. Seeing as I knew this would not happen to the doctor, I had no choice but to wait for it to heal. I didn't imagine it would test. Shove me off and run away. And then he scuttled through that door out the back. At which point, what did you do? I assumed
Hold it!
You mean you chased after him?
I don't know why, but I ran after him to shut the door.
And what about this peephole in the door you mentioned?
Well, I told you to naturally.
Man, surprisingly, the storeroom is a solid job. It was stone. There's a small opening in it about behind that lets me see what's in there from the outside. Actually, I should know that, shouldn't I? I looked through it myself that night.
Eyes.
Hey,
What about the burglar? Burglar rooms. You see the way through this one. Now I think of. Didn't see nothing of the sort, though. I doubt these two fools were even aware of the people's existence.
so the Skulking brothers were there, but they didn't see the killing of Mr. Weedybank take place. yes, when the crime was discovered, the defendant was found with a gun in her hand. But that was Mr. Mooneybank's gun, from which only a single bullet had been fired. And as we've already established, Mr. Brady, that bullet was fired at you.
No, it wasn't the broker's gun. Yes, the bullet from Mooneybank's gun grazed my arm. Yes, the sculptor's gun grounded his feet. This is another gun entirely. Third, the broker's gun was not burned, so clearly there had to be a third firing involved. In other words, the accused must have had her own gun.
Objection!
Have a gun. Well, actually, no, she did have a gun, but it's not a gun, a traditional gun is one thing. But no other gun was found at the scene. Sorry?
You must consider the events in order. First, I saw the broker in the road glaring at each other. Then, all of a sudden, the broker turned to run. And it was at that moment, the gutter rat shot him in the back. I'll show the image of this. Give me my Oscar, please. Oscar, please.
Hold it!
All over her?
Yes. The people I saw in the paper. Of course, the stains are invisible now. Only the coat is such a different color. But I assure you, that garment is sullied with the woman's blood.
How do you know that they would have the ability to check for blood in the first place? Because that's not something a regular Joe Schmo would know that that's a development that's happening.
Luckily, he's not a regular schmo, is he?
Right. Well, he is sullied with blood, that's for sure.
I think a communications expert would know about this sort of stuff.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I didn't think about
But it's not Mr. Mooneybank's blood, is it?
that. No, that's right. Don't behind me! It's Mr. Mason Milverton's blood from when Mr. Milton stabbed him 2 months ago.
So, they only accept Merlin's chemical analysis from the
They won't, so unfortunately, we can't use it as evidence to support our case.
I think it'd be low.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
And she tossed the gun out.
Hold it!
Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room?
That's right. After the broker fell to the floor, she started to over where it was going. And then I should have the door to where I was watching. Of course, I couldn't control it. And then, the girl dropped the gun across the floor on the side of the door.
That doesn't make any sense.
Why on earth would she do something? I couldn't tell. Perhaps she was hoping to distract herself from the work. Without thinking, I went to pick it up. I suppose I was worried about just leaving it there in case any more tragedies took place. So it was you who took the third gun from the scene of crime. Yes, it was yours truly. I left to clear up to my lackeys and left.
Clear up.
We made a bit of a mess around the counter, so Mr. Whistler Fluter told us to keep it tidy up. He thinks he's all blue and lovely sometimes. Well, I was paying you enough, I thought.
Tell me, Mr. Brady, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance the third disc in your jacket? No. Was it by any chance the second disc in your jacket pocket?
You little toe rag!
Wait, excuse me?
Excuse me!
Gentlemen! Something wrong, Sunshine? That should be my line! You do realize you were just violently shaking Mr. Skulkin?
Well, I mean, this is a bit of a hooligan, ain't he?
What was going on just now.
You saw me grab this. Why in blazes, he said, didn't you mention the third gun when we got you down the station?
And why didn't you?
Cause we didn't know nothing about it. Or that flaming people on the door.
Sorry about that. I can be prone to losing my rubber sometimes. Unfortunately.
Oh, blimey, see the way he's looking at me? I'm telling you, this tea gives me the willies.
That was strange. Inspector doesn't normally get quite worked up as that. He wouldn't normally grab somebody.
No, that wasn't like crazy at all. It's normally all sweetness and light, no matter what I say to him.
Yes, well, I think you might be a special case, Iris.
Well, anyway, that was definitely out of character. My lord! Requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination. Explain yourself, officer. I have the results of the test that was ordered earlier, my lord. Ah, the blood on the accused's overcoat. Thank you, officer. Very well, the cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel?
No, my lord. Now we're gonna have to prove that it wasn't correct blood. Well, there you have it.
The report, please, Inspector.
Yes, sir. Traces of human blood were found on the overcoat of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. The extent of the stains, it would appear that they were the result of spattering followed a gunshot. End of report.
Goodness. See? What did
Objection!
You knew there was blood on there, though. No! The blood on that coat is not Mr. Windybanks.
What on earth makes you say that?
The coat originally belonged to Magnus McGilden. Just before his coat was deposited at Windybanks, McGilden had fatally stabbed Mr. Mason Wilkerton. So the blood on that overcoat is the blood of the brickmaker from the omnibus.
Objection!
Well, the dead cannot speak. Isn't that right, my police friend?
Sorry.
This very court. Did you not confirm McGilden's innocence at first? But I actually questioned it. You were there. And yet now, the man is dead. Brandon is murdered. Your comment shatters any shred of respect you may have earned for yourself in this But that was... I call it a valley disgrace. Treachery, that's what it is. Shut up. Your actions almost got a woman killed.
Yeah.
So you don't get to talk. Scenario stuff couldn't help me answer that problem pop out. It can't be done.
But... We used Mr. Holmes' special formulated to... Mr. Schultz is a detective, not a chemist.
Would you put such faith that I cannot advise my present communications officer? What does that have to do with anything? Sherlock Schultz is merely a figment of the public's imagination. His name carries no weight in this court. No weight at all.
How can you say that?
Victory is speedy. This proves that my testimony is the whole truth from start to finish. How do you arrive at such a conclusion, sir? As the police said, the accused's coat was spattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. Grayson could possibly have known that fact was if he saw it happen. In other words, his testimony is solid and the conclusion is singular. It was the accused who shot the victim in this case. That is the whole truth.
Yeah, except you guys were really, like, jumping the gun on the stables.
My lord! Been a long battle, this one, but this old warhorse has something to say now, if you please. As of this moment, sir, the squadron has reached its final decision. Ready, men? All for one now. Sir!
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
I still love that the...
I know, it's so stupid.
Becca! Sorry. You snore loud. Yep. Well, it would appear, the ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached a unanimous verdict. The defense has consistently failed to unpick this witness's testimony. Here's to any attempt you may make at unpicking the jurors' decisions being equally successful.
Ah! I don't believe it after I've come so far! How is it all unraveling on me so fast?
How very distressing to be held in such low esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Haha.
Sir? You delivered the report now. That will be all, thank you. It occurs to me that some regularity, Mr. Naruhodo, that scientific truths are determined not by science, but by none other than the human mind.
I know that voice. Am I going mad? Mr. Sholmes?
What is the meaning of this? My toupee nearly flew off my head. Order! What business do you have here, Detective? Last I heard, you were recuperating in hospital. As well I would be. I've not been set upon it. It's you. You're awake. Yes, good day. This appears to be rather late to rise. My apologies. Now, I don't. If you what matters? I have something very important I wish to give to the young lawyer. No more than 5 minutes. This alone is to spare us the time. Let's see this one. This trial has taken many hours at least. Having spent so long.
Exactly! Having spent so long already, we don't want to go wasting any more person's time.
As I was saying, having spent so long already, it would seem churlish to deny the defense in 5 minutes.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Very well. Counsel, have 5 minutes.
Let's do this.
Also, Inspector, be careful, but we don't want to roll on the floor. Come on. Right, my dear fellow, I apologize for my talk.
Mr. Sholmes, are you alright?
All right, I'm all wrong. I am in a catastrophic amount of pain.
Sorry?
You just managed to summon strength to stand. And see the judge in 5 minutes. I fear even that may be too much for you. So pray forgive me, short.
Let's make this discussion as short as possible.
Apparently, this place is full of beans. None of them can see how wonderful your chemical blood analysis is. Not much. I was really just a bit of sport to assist in my investigations. I never took the trouble to refine the score appraisal by the scientific and oversight.
Right. Honesty? Surely not.
But enough of that. I'm here to give you this, my dear.
What's that? A lavender Furoshi.
A leaving present from Miss Susato.
From Miss Susato?
If possible, matters were to be settled without me giving her this. Those were her instructions when she asked me to do her this favor.
I don't understand.
Miss Susato foresaw today's events in her life. She knew that the culprit would attempt to escape justice by means both previous and unexpected, and that you, Mr. Malcolm, though unfairly as you are, instructions. Living present from Susanoo-san? Whatever could it be? What is this? Oh! It's the machine I made! Ah! Look, I use this. It's my latest invention. What is that? I call it the cat flapomat. I can make a cat flap for my little furry friend like Riley in seconds. That's Susie. Mr. Sato muttered the following words before she left. I'm a failure. I don't deserve to be a judicial assistant. What? Didn't you say something like that? You really are the best judicial assistant in the world. That's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say, that I have been a What did you mean by that, Mr. Schwartz? When you left me, you begged for service. This Susanoo made use of this contraption for a certain purpose. That is your answer to me. Not at all cryptic then. Susanoo-san used this cat flapomat that night? But why?
To get inside the room.
Not get inside.
Get her out? Get the gun out?
You'll see.
Yeah.
Your 5 minutes is over. Are over. Whatever. We're out of time already? I'm grateful to you for affording us that brief recess, Mr. Reaper. I need no thanks, Detective. After all, the die is cast. Is it really? The jurors are unanimous. I keep forgetting. Unanimous in their opinions. No doubt my learned friend will consider a summation examination.
Unanimous.
Any attempt to alter the verdict now would be utterly futile. I wonder. Mr. Naruho,
Yes?
the rest is down to you, dear fellow. What is your plan? The rest is down to you.
I need to be careful here. If I make a wrong move, the trial will end badly. My lord, the defense requests a summation examination.
Cross-examination.
We can.
Yes, we can.
Further cross-examination.
Because we just got something we didn't have before.
Okay.
Objection!
The jurors have spoken. Protocol dictates that you may not cross-examine a new witness. Now, here's the thing. Not cross-examining a new witness, and the judge temporarily suspended the cross-examination, which means we can start it back up again.
Objection!
He didn't say it was over.
The defense is not asking for the cross-examination of a new witness, rather to continue with with one of the unexisting witness.
What? It would appear that a rather important detail has escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper. It's not like this is the first time this has happened. My lord, requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination. Thank you, sir. Very well. The cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel. He's done this before.
Yeah.
He did it with the summation examination.
No, my lord.
We're weaseling out of it a second time.
Oh my gosh.
So nobody can say anything now. If Bruno asks to resume his cross-examination, Mr. Brady, obliged to allow it. This is absurd.
Absurd but allowable.
Remind those present that this is I concur with the princess entirely against to request the continuation of this situation. Again, thank you for being competent, Your Honor. Seriously.
Yeah, like this guy is above and beyond all of the other.
He's actually competent. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, shit, you're right. However, I will not permit an unremitting contraction of these proceedings. Therefore, I have decided to award that one final opportunity to cross-examination. So, must choose but one statement from the witness's testimony, and but one piece of evidence to present in support
Let me see the things, and I know it's going to be the new piece of evidence, so that narrows it down a bit.
A single chance to present evidence? If allowing that the situation remains unchanged, I shall move to adjudication. Is that clear, counsels? I will not press the witness any further. My lord.
Question: did we look into that flap before or after we chased down the people?
After the chase.
Okay, I had a feeling. Yes, my lord.
Because I just have one question. This is the picture of Gina. This is a picture of the events before the chase happens.
Yeah,
The door.
I know. I see it. Like that.
Where's the handle? Where's the flap?
I know. Show me the next one. Yeah, I did not notice that. That is so subtle.
Yeah, and that's why Susato is saying she was such a fan. She was the one that made it.
Anyway.
And now, remember what he said in his testimony?
Yeah, he said I looked through the flap. There was no flap during the events.
Exactly.
Okay, let's do this.
Yes, sir. A single statement, single piece of evidence. Most generous.
Yeah, well, I know the evidence and I know the statement.
Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's high time I fell in a dead fate. I leave this in your capable hands.
Oh, he actually clapped. He actually collapsed this from his wounds.
Yeah.
So he,
Mr. Charles!
Don't worry, I'm okay.
this time it doesn't his face.
No, Paul.
I always ham it up for effect.
Like, he didn't even, like, just pass out, like, he went,
Yeah.
wacky flailing with the fiddle, inflatable tube, man.
To stand so insouciantly?
Yeah, it's a
Before the court in a state of such height, either the man's extraordinary strength of mind or an extraordinary lack of feeling. He's feeling very little, but detecting he's sleeping soundly in one of the antechambers.
strike a man when he's down, why don't you?
Well, then, counsel, are you fully prepared?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. One statement, one piece of evidence. I won't let Mr. Sholmes down, or Iris. And I won't waste this final chance that Susato-san has given me. This is going to decide the entire outcome of the trial.
Very well, then. Under the terms I have outlined, you may resume the cross-examination.
I saw through the peephole.
Yeah, so now, you are definitely correct. So now, that nice new music, by the way. There's two statements you can do this in. Statement number 3,
Shows up the story points. People, yeah.
or you can do it at statement number 6. So that tossed the gun out of the people, so I picked it up and made it a statement.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do it at
Yeah. Do this!
I presume that.
Objection!
What on on earth is that eccentric contraption, Council? Ooh, it's my cat Flappomat, my lord. It makes a way for cats to get in and out of the room. It can come through any door you can think of, and make a new little door in the middle of it.
That's right, my lord. It's a device for creating so-called cat flaps. Small doors for cats to come in and go as they please without their owners having to...
I'm sure we can all work that out for ourselves. But that cat lover's contrivance has no possible relevance to this case.
Oh, really?
I'm trying to be the owl, the
Yeah.
owl pick. Of course it doesn't. To start with, there was no cat flap in the pawnbroker's door. Not being a keeper of cats myself, I'm afraid I fail to see what this has to do with the matter.
Perhaps it would help if I described its function another way, then. This contraption is able to create a peephole in any door you can imagine in practically no time at all.
I beg your pardon? A peephole, you say?
2 nights ago, we arrived at the scene only minutes after the murder of Mr. Windybank had taken place. That's right. According to the paperwork at the yard, it was you and the Japanese assistant and Jones. Yes, the 3 of us were together. And it's recently come to my attention that my assistant made use of this device at the time.
Your assistant did what?
There was a peephole in the storeroom door, I can attest to that. Because I looked through the peephole myself in order to see see inside the locked storeroom.
This is ludicrous. What are you trying to say? Of course there was a peephole in the door. I said as much in my testimony. Who else could I have witnessed the crime, for pity's sake?
Yes, how could you?
Counsel, kindly say what you mean.
All right, it's time. Time to strike the final blow. What I mean is this, my lord. My assistant made the peephole in the storeroom door, and until such time as she did, the door had no hole in it to look through.
No!
Objection!
This is a farce. Are you really suggesting a peephole in the door was...
Yes, it was created only after the incident had taken place by my judicial assistant using this device.
Your assistant tampered with the incident whilst being fully aware of the gravity of my actions? This is the most serious act of vandalism.
For which I humbly apologize, my lord. It was in the few minutes that I had left the scene in order to pursue the Scully brothers and alert the police. Nevertheless, in the light of this new information, it becomes apparent that Mr. Graydon's testimony is riddled with holes.
Riddled with... Explain yourself.
The majority of Mr. Graydon's testimony that appears to incriminate the defendant is based upon what he witnessed through the peephole in the storeroom door.
Yes, that girl shooting the man in the back.
However, if at the time of the incident, that peephole did not yet exist in the door, there's no possible way that you could have seen what you claim to have seen. In short, your entire testimony is a pack of lies.
Order, order, order. Is there any credence to this?
Objection!
None whatsoever, as my learned friend must surely know. Exactly! This is just some cheap trick designed to discredit me.
I'm afraid not, sir.
Of course it is! You seriously expect people to believe that plaything could cut through a solid wooden door? Oh yes, I decided to be very cut through even the toughest of doors. That's absurd! I don't believe it for a second. You didn't say that. What? Waggy! Cooey! Time for dinner!
Yeah, and those are pretty thick doors. Oh, adorable.
Your Young lady, this is the Old Bailey. One does not make cat flaps in the or paneling of the Old Bailey. Oh. Okay. I'm not done yet, dude. This doesn't mean that the people in the storeroom that door at Windy Banks was made by your machine. And there's no way you can prove that it was.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, but it's easy. What? The cat flaps in my cat flap crate are all of a fixed size. And the dimensions of the people at Windy Banks are an exact match. Old Silky's last words.
Excellent work, Iris. Thank you.
And now it's my turn to stupid turn lost words. I believe your judicial systems are lacking
Well, yes, that's true.
then you may have some difficulty in establishing facts.
No, it's not good here.
For the sake of argument, let us assume that the people has dimensions that are a perfect fit for this fact. In that case, when was the people cut? The prosecution demands proof of your action. Here, answer me. What is the purpose of your line of inquiry? It's very simple. The defense argues that the people was created after the incident. Now that the perpetrator has returned to her claim, she cannot testify. There is no proof.
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure? And for as long as the defense remains unable to prove that the people was made, my learned friends can amounts to nothing than a baseless accusation. What? Well, yeah. Dude, you gotta prove it. You can't just say things and expect people to take your word for it.
Yeah.
Indeed, that is so, Lord Vantage. Cancel. Don't give it up now, Bruno. This is the time to create your own opening and force your way through.
I don't know if I can do this, but I do know one thing. Susato-san is the greatest judicial assistant in the world.
Very well. Counsel for the defense will present evidence to support the claim made. Prove that the people in the door of the bank store was created after the event and not before.
The photography!
Now, my question to you is, which one?
The past one, the one that shows that there's no door.
Yes. Yeah, you are correct. It is the picture with Gina in it. Because that's the one before they go in. There's no door, there's no one. And then this is the one that took place after.
Exactly, that doesn't prove anything. It has to be the one that doesn't have the
Take that!
Exactly. What are you? A print from that detective's infernal cameras again.
My judicial assistant, Miss Susato Mikotoba, is an extremely intelligent and capable woman, which is why I never had any cause to doubt that she would have considered this scenario, and made sure I had the necessary proof.
And the necessary proof is this photographic print, counsel?
This print shows a scene in the shop moments after the defendant entered the premises.
Agreed. And it also shows the accused mercilessly wielded a gun in the direction of the defense's
But, to more to the point, it pictures the storeroom door in the background.
Can we see that print again? I don't believe it.
I forgot to borrow that.
This really is quite remarkable. The door to the storeroom. It's completely devoid of a people of any description.
Yard.
Mr. Graydon.
Mr. Graydon, you couldn't possibly have witnessed the crime as you claim to have done, because at the time it happened, there was no peephole in the door. In other words, your testimony is a catalog of lies!
Oh, so it's a catalog now?
Die.
Order! I am satisfied that the defense has substantiated its claim beyond any reasonable doubt. This witness Pierce's testimony was entirely fallacious.
Fallacious? Wait, what?
Hey. That's not the only thing we now know beyond all these doubts. My learned friend's assistant's guilt can no longer be denied. The woman tampered with her client's life.
And?
But more important, good lord, there's more advances? The defense may have established a reprehensible instance of perjury. But that is no proof that this man is the victim's killer. Yes, that's right.
What?
I was there at the scene. It's true. And I was shot in the arm. It's true. That's all. Yes, in fact, if you look at the circumstances, I am the victim here.
Oh, please! No!
Oh, please.
Don't believe this. But they're right. As it stands now, they don't have any definitive proof that he's the culprit.
Still, he can't worm his way out of it now.
Bruce?
You know what they say? There's no point locking the cat's door after the cat has bolted. Isn't that right, you know? As Hurley always says, one lie begets another. Oh wait, that might have been the line I wrote for him.
Well, no matter who said it first, you're right. Mr. Graydon, not only did you give false testimony to the court, but the lies you told make no sense.
Make no sense. What do you mean by such a remark?
What you said in your testimony reveals that you know something you shouldn't have known. In other words, there is a fundamental inconsistency in your statements.
What?
Objection!
This is provocative. This is provocative talk. Won't you enlighten the court? Explain this alleged inconsistency.
Iris was right. One lie begets another. The inconsistency is revealed by the lies in the witnesses' statements. They show that Mr. Graydon had knowledge of something he shouldn't have known anything about, namely,
The gun, the people, or the bloodstains on the clothes.
the bloodstains on the coat.
Two of these answers are correct.
Yeah.
People and the bloodstains on the clothes.
Yeah.
Either one of these will be fine. But we'll go with the
Okay. The point is not that you lied in your testimony, Mr. Graydon. It's the nature of the lie that you concocted that is so revealing.
You're not making any sense.
Then let me ask you a simple question. How is it, Mr. Graydon, that you knew of the existence of a peephole in the storeroom door?
What? Well, obviously, as the cat got your tongue.
The peephole in the door was made after the incident occurred. And once I returned to the shop, having failed to catch the two burglars, Scotland Yard's investigators arrived immediately. Since that time, the police have been at Whitney Banks constantly carrying out their investigation. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson? Yes, of course. The place is chock full of articles, and my lads had thoroughly examined them all. So I gave the order to have the officers work around the clock in shifts to get it. So we can...
Sorry, you shits.
And consequently, there's no way that you, Mr. Graydon, could have gained access to the shop. Therefore, you should have known nothing about the people in the storeroom door. So the fact that its existence forms the basis of your testimony is completely inexplicable.
Objection!
Yet, the fact remains that Mr. Graydon did maintain that he witnessed the crime take place through the report. How on earth is that possible?
Could I have a word, please, Lord Menzies? It's just that I really ought to be getting back to the station now that you put me in my report.
You told him. You You told him about the people, and that's why he's basing his entire argument on it. You're in cahoots with him,
Why are you backing out of this?
and that's why he's backing out now. He's getting out of it. I mean, hey, it's not like earlier in the testimony we were seeing him collude with him.
There's really nothing more to add to the testimony, so it's all the same to you.
Permission denied.
Oh,
It's not all the same with me and Sweet. Not at all. You will remain exactly where you are until this trial concludes.
of course, sir.
Or at least he suspects.
Wait. You should have known about the existence of that people. Which can only mean that you must have been informed about it by somebody else.
Objection!
Stop there, my lord. You realize, I trust, that the words you just uttered have extremely serious implications.
Yes, but the defense believes that the details of the case that Mr. Graydon's claims to have seen must have been revealed to him by a certain person before his testimony. And in fact, considering a particular clue we have, there's really only one person that it could be.
Who is the person in question, counsel? Who gave this witness details of the crime scene to facilitate his false testimony?
I mean, he's basically outing himself at this point, so
Pretty much.
sorry, Greg.
Take that!
Sorry, bro. The truth is, it can only have been you, Inspector Gregson. Eh? Me?
Objection!
You had better have some proof to substantiate such a rash claim.
Consider the fact that we have only been aware of Mr. Ashley Graydon's identity for the last few hours. We learned of it only during the course of the trial today.
Indeed, preparations for his testimony were made with great urgency during our long recess. While the police executed the subpoena and brought the man here for a communication session.
And until that time, Mr. Graydon would have had no idea. No inkling that he would suddenly be required to appear in court.
Are you suggesting that until such time as he was summoned?
Yes, my lord. Until then, it's reasonable to assume he knew nothing of the people. It was only once Mr. Graydon was in the stand that he realized his position. That he would have had to defend himself against the accusation that he was the third intruder.
You're suggesting to the court that it was while this trial was in progress that he received the information so that he could commit perjury in order to save his skin?
Exactly. And the only person with knowledge through the investigation that he had any contact with is you, Inspector Gregson. This is a bloomin' outrage. Why would I be giving away details of our investigation to this fellow, eh? I was summoned to his lordship's chambers during the recess in any case. Had you forgotten that?
Quite true. I had a number of questions regarding the events that transpired. Which means the first time these two laid eyes on him was after proceedings resumed following the recess. Since then, they've been in full view in the stand, where such illicit discussions couldn't possibly have occurred. Motherfucker, are you not paying attention?
Yeah.
Were you not paying attention to what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered something.
What is it, Empress?
There was one time before, wasn't there? I think it was when Gene was testifying.
Oh, yes, now that you mention it. When the bailiff was dispatched to retrieve Mr. Gilden's music box from the scene of the crime. That's it! It was during that testimony! I remember finding it strange at the time. Mr. Graydon and the inspector seemed to be having some sort of secret discussion.
I'm surprised no one has mentioned this until now.
Yeah, everybody's on
The only one smart here is the judge.
Yeah. It would have been possible for you to give Mr. Graydon the information he needed then. You little toe rag. You're making this all up. I'm a respectable Scotland Yard inspector, for crying out loud. Why would I do something like that? Why would I be giving away confidential details to the likes of this one? Admittedly, you wouldn't have any reason to do something like that for no gain. But perhaps it was part of a deal of some kind. Then it starts to make more sense. What? Or perhaps in exchange for details about the people at the crime scene, Mr. Graydon agreed to give a certain something to the inspector. The other disc.
I'm sure I need not remind the inspector that if found to be true, striking a deal of any kind with the police would be considered a gross case of malfeasance.
Well,
Objection!
It's becoming clear that jumping in with accusations is this Lebanese student's specialty.
don't do that.
But with the stakes so high, the prosecution is not prepared to listen to baseless charges. It is incumbent that on the defense now to present evidence in support of this diabolical claim.
Evidence?
Just what are you proposing that the inspector demanded of a innocent attorney?
The other disc.
The court must see proof of this alleged deal.
Inspector Gregson really did strike a deal with Mr. Graydon. Logically, there's only one thing he could have asked for. Must be it!
Bruno, do you think it could be...
Yes. It's the missing link that would join all the dots together in this puzzle.
I must press you for an answer now. What evidence explains the nature of the alleged deal that Inspector Gregson made with the police?
Yes.
Take that!
Are you also... It says here that the music box itself could have also been.
I figured. Inspector Gregson, besides this murder, is it not true that you've been working on another very important case? What? What are you getting at now, Sunshine? Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Is it possible that this other top secret case is what's alluded to in this newspaper article here? The classified secrets being leaked overseas from the Ministry of Justice? How the bleeding Nora could you... We discovered during the course of this trial the music box deposited at Windybanks by Magnus McGilded. A special music box designed to play 2 discs at once. It would seem very likely now that encoded on the pair of discs that were in Mr. McGilded's possession are the leaked classified secrets. So I put it to you, Inspector, that in order to recover the second of the discs containing those secrets, you covertly made a deal with Mr. Graydon in which you exchanged the disc for details on the case. You little duck!
Order.
On the day of the incident, when you met Mr. when he met you at Windybanks, you said this. I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over.
No, don't give it to him. It's mine. That is mine.
I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has been taken in as evidence now. Scotland Yard already knew at that time, isn't that right? That Magnus McGilded was involved in the stealing of the government secrets. My orders cover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the administrator, and do it on the QT. Strictly hush-hush.
And that explains why, when I presented this disc as evidence for the report, you objected heavily. Because you knew that it contained highly confidential information.
Likely, not likely. I mean, I wasn't sure of it myself. I realized there was a possibility, that's all.
Inspector, Surely you're not saying that in order to acquire the second of these news and postmasters, you did indeed reveal confidential details of the crime scene to the witness. To aid and abet this man in giving false testimony?
There's no other way that Mr. Crane could have known of the existence of the people. It's the only explanation. A deal was struck between these two men.
No!
Objection!
If, and I stress if, this sobering assertion turns out to be founded in truth, it would mean that the second disc is, as we speak, here in this very court.
Wait, what? In this room? How could you possibly make a claim like that?
Because Inspector Gregson is a Scotland detective.
What? What's that supposed to mean, eh?
As a seasoned policeman, the inspector will have approached this alleged deal with caution. Certainly, he would not have accepted a gentleman's agreement in this manner. No, he would have insisted on having the article agreed upon in the palm of his hand. Good gracious, then you mean to say Inspector Gregson already has the item in question in his possession? He has the second disc actually on his possession?
Yes!
The defendant demands that the inspector is searched at once.
Definitely. They can only have struck a deal with each other when Jimmy was testifying before. And Grexy hasn't moved from the witness stand since.
My lord, please, order an examination of his personal effects immediately.
Well, Inspector?
He just, like, teleports back. Wasn't even, like, sliding or anything. This young lad wants to tone down his imagination? He's insulted me and my profession quite enough. However, if it'll put this matter to bed and dispel any doubts about my involvement, then I'll happily submit to a body search. What? He's going to agree to it?
I presume you're aware of the precipice on which you are now here. You've made the most serious allegation against Scotland Yard. If, following the search of the inspector's personal effects, no disc is found, you will be deemed unfit for court service. This trial will end, and my country's government will formally demand of yours that you are severely reprimanded.
That sounds serious.
Indeed, to have listened to such defamatory remarks about our country's most senior police force is not something Her Majesty's government would be able to do. You're just threatening real because you're scared. Accusations are not serious. You must be prepared for grave consequences.
It's true. I can't imagine Gregson would have accepted a gentleman's agreement for something so critical. The disc must have physically changed hands, which means the inspector should have it. But somehow, something doesn't feel quite right here.
Very well, counsel. You know the implications, so let me ask you one final time.
Yes, my lord.
Do you still persist on formally requesting a search of the inspector's personal effects?
Search someone else?
I'm going to go through the answers to the answer to this, and I want to tell you, this threw me for a loop when I was like, oh. Let's just say this. It makes a certain action we saw earlier make no sense.
Yeah, search someone else. I know what the problem is.
Yeah.
It's not him. It's one of the thieves. It's the taller one. Yes, the defense formally demands the search be conducted.
Well, don't say you weren't warned. Your typical Ebony stubbornness may well land you in the waters. Perhaps the lesson will do so.
Fair enough. I've got nothing to hide.
Very well then. Bailiff, conduct a search of the inspector's
Objection.
personal effects, please. Oh yeah.
Bad timing, bro.
Yeah.
The defense demands a search, but not of Inspector Gregson.
What?
Now what's all this? I'm the one you're accusing, aren't I? I thought you wanted to search me.
No.
No, Inspector, not you. Somebody else. What's the meaning of all this, eh? Lost it at last, have you, sunshine? The court shouldn't have to put up with this nonsense. You're being completely irrational. Dude, if you say something one more time.
Be quiet, all of you.
Judge. Oh.
Bruno's doing what you all told him to do, and having the courage of his convictions. So you should respect that and listen to what he has to say in good faith. Because that's the British way.
I love how you read scenes. No. She's got
Indeed, this court is in awe of the defense counsel's conviction. Eagerly awaits his judgment.
and then the biggest surprise.
What? Now, don't be hasty, my lord.
You what?
You what? If I'm not mistaken about the things I've seen in court today, I'm fairly sure I know who has that disc. There's only one person it can be. Luigi!
Counsel, when do you request the search now? Yeah, actually. It's so funny. When I first figured out, like, explain this sudden, like, out of character moment.
Take that!
Of my lord, Mr. Nash Skulkin.
Well, I never. Why me? Him? Very well, then. Restrain the witness and conduct a thorough search of his personal affairs.
Hold it!
Oh, I love how Gregson.
You're gonna
tries
do
to
this
stop
voice
it.
because my throat is raw right now.
Please, my lord.
Inspector?
Scotland Yard has to object to this.
Objection!
You shouldn't have said anything because now you really hurt yourself.
Unfortunately for you, Inspector, your objections carry no weight.
Eh?
In this courtroom, only the prosecution and the defense have the authority to object.
But, Lord Van Zeeks!
I have no idea what forces are in play that might influence your actions. But personally, I have no intention of obstructing the course of this trial. Bailiff, carry out the search. Now, hold on a moment. I don't know nothing. Nothing about no dicks. Cut it out! It tickles!
Strong to escape it.
Here, my lord, in the witness's pocket. I found this.
Do.
Good lord, that's another music box disc. I don't know nothing about it. Nothing.
That is the second music box disc left behind by Magnus McGilded. Is it not, Inspector Gregson? Not much.
Until we reveal the whole truth, we'll have to cut it off once we get the not guilty verdict, because there is an outcome.
Oh.
Order, Mr. Skulkin. What do you think to say for yourself? Gordon Bennett. I mean, just Gordon Flamin' Bennett. I swear I didn't know nothing about that disc. Honest to God. Counsel, would you please explain what exactly is going on? The alleged deal that was struck was between this witness and this detective.
Without question, my lord.
Then for pity's sake, why on earth was this man in possession of the disc that the inspector traded for information?
Inspector Gregson is a shrewd, calculating man who rarely loses his composure. But at one particular point in this trial, he exhibited some unusual behavior for a brief moment.
I don't recall. What unusual behavior?
It was, yes, during my cross-examination of Mr. Brayton. Tell me, Mr. Brayton, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket?
I admit to nothing of the sort.
While Mr. Graydon answered my questions, The inspector appeared to have grabbed Nash Skulkin by his coat and was shaking him violently.
Yeah, he did it all. Though me noggin wasn't gonna fall clean off that day. I was wishing I'd been born as me brother I was.
And what exactly happened to make the detective attack you like that?
I ain't got a clue. He just suddenly turned and grabbed me and whistled like that and started shaking me. Why in blazes did you mention the third gun when I got you down the station? That's what he said. He held it right down the ear hole, he did. The head's be still throbbing now.
The way the detective behaved then was extremely out of character. But looking back now, it must have been then that he did it. That was the opportunity Inspector Grayson created for himself in order to hide the disc.
Bless my wig, he hid it? You catch me a minute, it was a wig. But I'm afraid I failed to comprehend the motive. If the detective had acquired the disc in the chapter, why on earth would he then proceed to hide it in another man's pocket? This is a court of law. He could have submitted the item as evidence. The inspector was not at liberty. Why ever not? As the man himself knew earlier, his current assignment had some special requirements.
My orders were cover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry, and do it on the QT, strictly hush-hush.
Hush, top secret assignment, is it? As far as we're aware, the information stolen comes from confidential government communications. It would seem that if that information would be revealed in court as evidence, it would be problematic. Does that sum up the situation, Inspector?
I'm operating under direct orders from the ministry. I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to answer that question.
So screwed! Realizing there was a chance that you may be searched for the took steps to hide the disc when acquired from the Ah, does that mean?
He only pretended to attack Mr. Skulkin in order to get close enough to slip the second disc into his pocket.
So it was all a pretense?
Please, I'll give Grayson this. He did a really good job.
It was very brazen. Well now, Inspector Grayson, you, Mr. Grayson, are you prepared to admit the accusation made against you of this alleged deal?
You're kind of screwed. Even if they don't.
No, I don't think I will.
Admit to it? Yours truly. Please.
Mr. Graydon?
Clearly, our Eastern visitor has an uncommonly active imagination. However, there's no proof that I passed that disc to the
Objection!
But then, how do you explain the reason why you knew about the peephole?
I'm under no obligation to explain.
What?
Yes, I lied in my testimony. That I admit, so sentence me accordingly. And that is all, but that is all I admit. Murder, leaking government secrets, striking a deal with a detective. All of it is this young Eastern man's fancy. I have no idea of what any of that is about.
What?
Okay, this is difficult.
Yeah. Well, what about you then, Inspector Gregson? Do you admit of making a deal with Mr. Graydon in order to acquire the disc?
Again, not much me.
Right. I literally just addressed you.
Ladies and gents of the jury, this is Scotland Yard Inspector. I will declare this and nothing more. I'm acting in the best interest of the country. Whatever I've done has been in the name of justice. So, members of the public of this fine country, I'd like to think that justice will be your guiding light in making your decisions.
This is quite a quandary indeed. Rarely have I encountered such extraordinary tumultuousness in the concluding of the trial. Nevertheless, in the absence of any further evidence to be presented, I believe it is time for the matter of the jury must say I sympathize with your concern.
Yes, he's a dependable man, I'm quite sure. In service, one becomes a good judge of character.
Even crossing your eyes doesn't help when it comes to this case. It's all blurred to me.
Well, as a fellow professional, I'd like to put my faith in a detective, really.
Raiden is a skilled operator style, currently in presence of mindless detective, but it has very much trust in it. More than this, I can see.
I don't believe it! These 6 jurors are... They're gonna believe Gregson if they declare the decision now! If I don't manage to produce some definitive evidence right now, then we're gonna lose! Either some proof that Grayton killed Mr. Weedybank or stole these government secrets. Or some evidence to force Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal with the witness. I mean, there's a quick answer for that.
Well then, counsel, I think it's time I impose on the jurors to declare their final decisions. That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you have thus far not presented.
Yeah, we have it. We just got it. If I let the judge call on the jurors to announce their leanings, Gina will be found guilty.
So there's no choice then, Bruno. You have to throw some more evidence in.
Well, we just got more evidence, so this is it now. It all comes down to this. Who do I present evidence against, Gregson or Gregson?
Honestly, I don't think it really matters. Although in this case, it makes.
And you can probably choose any of the discs or the music box, yes? Inspector Gregson, there's one final piece of evidence I would like to see. Gregson. Gregson!
What's that then?
If you refuse to acknowledge that you did in fact strike a deal with the witness here today, then you leave us no choice but to examine this piece of evidence thoroughly.
Go on.
This is my last chance. Looks like I'm gonna have to force his hand here. One final piece of evidence to get this detective to admit the deal he clearly struck with Graydon. Let's do this.
Take that!
If it's not what you say if it's not what I say it is, then you wouldn't have any issues with me playing this, now would you?
Is that Mr. McGilda's peculiar music box, counsel?
Yes, with a disc already in place, ready to play. I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. Only this time, with the second disc we've just discovered set in place as well.
Goodness, this is...
Hold it!
No, wait. I can't let you do that.
Why not?
Because, well, this has got nothing to do with this case. That's why.
Then you should have no problems with us playing it.
Yeah. Not true, Inspector.
Eh?
The defense has already proposed that the sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box is part of a Morse code message. We know that Morse code comprises of 2 distinct tones. The defense believes that the second disc contains the second tone needed to complete the messages. And now we have a chance to confirm that theory.
Crying out loud, sunshine. We're talking about state secrets here. If you go letting the whole courtroom get confidential information like that, it's treason.
It's treason. Then do you admit the charge that in order to protect those state secrets, you engaged in unlawful dealings with the witness?
You're mad. If you let that secret information out in the public domain, you'll be making an enemy of the entire British government.
Objection!
I already am, dumbass! Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leaked confidential case details to a witness. That you continue to lie to the court, and all because of, by fair means or foul, you're determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine.
Don't you dare.
I will stop at nothing to protect my client. I don't care who I make an enemy of.
I love that she's like,
My lord, if you please. The court must hear the sounds made by that music box.
Come on, man, Zeeks, for Pete's sake, step in.
Objection!
Stop him.
Stop him. Oh no, he's just straight up like,
Inspector, you should know my methods by now. I'm a prosecutor. I'm no Scotland Yard puppet. This court, my duty is to law, so that you propose attempts to uncovering the truth by fair means
because man, Zeeks does not like to live, but he also doesn't like to
Starts to be you. The truth must come out.
Very well, the defense's stance here and that of the prosecution is very clear. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request, the court will now listen to the actors as this music box is set for operation.
Speak, Gregson. Speak quickly.
This time with the second disc in place, and both discs playing simultaneously.
He has one final chance to save his ass.
Here's the thing. This is going to at least... Yeah.
Oh, listen to that.
It's unmistakable now. It's Morse code.
Alright, I admit it. Whatever you want. But for the love of God, shut that bloomin' box up. Oof.
Okay, wait, where's the mic?
Well,
I'm not gonna actually drop the
I
bar.
just love
Mic
what
drop.
Zeeks did. He just like sipped his
Yeah.
poured his glass of wine and was like, leg on table. This is happening whether you like it or not.
Let me ask you again. Let me ask you again, Inspector Gregson. Did you or did you not strike a deal with the witness next to you in the stand, Mr. Ashley Graydon?
Specifically, did you furnish the witness with confidential case details in exchange for this music box disc? Did you reveal the existence of the peephole in the pawnbroker's storeroom door, Inspector?
He's weird. I did.
Stop! What are you doing, man?
It's all exactly like the young Eastern lawyer said. When the trial resumed after the recess and we were stood here in the stand together, that's when he approached me with the deal.
Shut up, you imbecile! Shut up!
It's too late now.
Psst, you didn't. You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbroker the other day, aren't you? I may have something you're looking for, Inspector, with me at this very moment. So how about a trade? I suggest you accept. More information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable will soon become very public.
I couldn't let that information become public knowledge. Not under any circumstances. So I accepted the man's proposal and told him details about the case that should have put him in the clear. The people in the storeroom and the bloodstains on the overcoat.
By giving false testimony, this witness intends to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. Inspector, you knew that! Yet you still revealed those details to facilitate the witness's perjury.
I did. But then it turned out the people had only been made that night after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest.
Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself? There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime. Namely this. You are the third intruder who broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Windybank.
No, you... Traitor!
Oh, he's
Holy fuck.
strangling him.
Bailiff! Bailiff! Restrain that man! At once!
Well,
Well, you can't really choke him with a broken cane, can you?
Oh, yes, you can.
if the fibers are strong enough, yes.
It was broken in a way where maybe he could.
Yeah,
No.
that's it then. It's all
No.
over.
Canes back then,
They're made of sterner stuff than now.
No. Historically, there was something illegal that they did back then. They would hollow out the center of the cane.
I despised my life growing up. Those slums were vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, the son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had was never spent on me.
I was about to say, this sounds like the start of Dio's story.
So I set about studying to better myself, to one day escape from that hell.
Eventually became a patient officer. I admire your determination. Then you decided to try and sell government secrets? Why?
Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. Even now, years later, the nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in the small hours. I wanted to drown them out with more money than anyone who lived in that squalor could ever imagine. Then one day, Mr. Magnus McDonald,
Who I still don't believe is dead.
you're a thief with a queer talent, so you are. I have money to throw your way if you're interested. All you need to do is go along with me little plan now. I was to steal the ministry's telegraphic message logs, and McGilden would buy them for a handsome sum. As I was responsible for inspections of the ministry's communications office, it was a simple task. How easy it was to steal. You must surely have realized the seriousness of the crime you were committing. And for that reason, I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable. Using music box. My father was a bricklayer, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child.
Yes, Mr. Mason Milverton.
That's right. He was very skilled with his hands. He'd once been a music box maker's apprentice. I imagine his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate music. So I sought out my father again to employ his services. It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years ago. What a fine gentleman. I was a different man than he was. He was a different man. Thin, frail woman. Poverty never corrupted him like that. I was sure that he wouldn't have me. So I made a mistake. I've got some work for you. I need some music box lists. Music box lists. A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell. I've got the score with me. There are two versions. I'd be delighted, sir. It's been 20 years since I did any work with this. Fetch my tools, would you? They're in the lift. That's how I had it made, the two discs. I split the information into two. You were taking considerable precaution, I I was to protect myself as much as anything. It meant that I could deal with McGilden in two separate transactions. First involved the first of the two discs in the music box for playing. I exchanged them with McGilden for 10 million. Then, on receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000.
So, what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago? Was the second part of the deal? The exchange of the second disc?
Yes. I sold the man's information away that way a number of times already. It seems he became reluctant to part with his money. That doesn't make quite sense, Mr. Green. For why was it that the omnibus council, your father, Mr. Milverton, was willing to deal with Mr. McGillen, not yourself? I received surrendered to my father for his troubles. My father realized the signs of this. In time, he worked out that I must be involved in some duties. And when he did, he said to me, next time there's an exchange, let me know then. Otherwise, I won't take your money. That was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb onto into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, and take the money from the guild. That's it. He had no intention, no idea what was actually on the discs. I'd asked him to make. He never knew. And just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that the disc was taken, and he never returned home. It was only then that I found out what sort of a monster McGilded was. So after 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore on my father's name. To exact revenge.
Revenge?
As anyone with the most knowledge of the McGilded brought all of his influence to bear on the most despicable to crush any semblance of justice in his trial. The crime scene was tampered, evidence was fixed, and witnesses were blind. That trial was a farce of
He had barely touched British soil back then. And I walked into that hornet's nest completely unaware of the sinister background to the wall.
I made plenty of money out of my deals. So I spared nothing in my arrangements to it. I knew exactly. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in the city willing to do anything for this. McGilded himself has shown me that.
Are you saying that?
I think you have the picture. After he twisted everything to his favor in this courtroom to ensure that he walked free, I took it in my own hands and delivered the justice that monster deserved.
So you're admitting to not just one murder, you're admitting to two.
That tragic accident following the trial of 2 years ago was planned and executed by yours truly.
Alright, so yeah, okay, that's confirmed. So you probably did. The Gilded that day was caused by this man.
Okay, now I will be fair here. The first one, the death against Windy Bank was really bad, was bad, 100%. But in this one, in the Gilded's case, you can kind of see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
It's still cool story, still murder.
Yeah.
But still, this was more of a like he got what he deserved kind of situation. Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom. What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe. I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There are some changes to the schedule. Let's be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. They're doing an exam of the omnibus again, sir. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
So that policeman who carried and kicked the tub McGilded, he could examine the omnibus again.
That's right. And possible. Hired by me.
Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah,
Do it quickly.
the reason he's admitting to this is because he's already
He's already guilty.
Yes.
But
I know, they hang for murder, yes.
not only that, there was not a long wait. He would probably be in jail for a couple days and be dead.
Yes.
McGilded used his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manner of false evidence. He threatened witnesses to lie in their testimony. Gina, of course. Ginny is what I was.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So I gave the man a taste of his omnibus. Once the omnibus was doused with air, perfect. One of my sham policemen ushered the killer inside and sent him on a one-way journey to hell. And eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death. Spine-chilling account indeed. But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see.
A loose end?
Yes.
Saga.
You are asleep and snoring quite heavily.
I should think...
It's also almost 10 o'clock.
We know,
Yeah.
we're trying.
Yes, I should think it's obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken to exchange with McGilded. Ah, yes. There was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago. Clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime. When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Something from the first time I dealt with McGilded. This is the first of the 2 discs in the music box. Oh, look at that now. Ingenious little invention. So then, as promised, 10 guinea for you. What's this? He makes appropriate? Aye, 'tis a Cowboy's ticket, so 'tis. You can use it to redeem an article I've deposited there for you. There's no need to give a name. Just hand it over the ticket and tell the watcher. I put a jewel in pot for you. It was fetched a good 10 guinea if you sell it, so. Never heard of it. Have you not, Mr. Cooper? London's pawnbrokers are very useful places, you know. Each one is like an extremely secure vault. So I knew that if he'd taken steps to hide the disc, it would be in that pawnbroker's safe. And that on the night he killed my father, he must have entrusted the ticket to someone. Someone else.
Yes, to Gina. I remember now. That's when we first met you at Winnipeg's that afternoon 2 days ago. You had a description of Miss Lestrade written down. How did you know what you were looking for?
Trial, that pickpocket's testimony was clearly peculiar. Anyone could see it. I realized immediately that she was another of McGild's pawns, that he must have threatened her somewhere. I was fairly convinced it would be her who led the tape, so I started to make something clear. I had a strong suspicion the girl would come out of the woodwork on the redemption day.
He was absolutely right.
And yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed to do was to wait until the girl went to Winnipeg's to redeem her items. Unfortunately, she redeemed only McGild's overcoat and the one disc was in his pocket. All important was a box with the second disc inside was missing. Because it had already been forfeited. But I was unaware of it. Had I not, I could have avoided my own nighttime excursion.
Meanwhile, as our investigation into the stolen government secrets was progressing, we picked up on the fact that the was involved.
Inspector, you've recovered fast.
Our orders were to recover stolen information as quickly as possible. So instead of gathering the fellow's possessions and examining whatever we could lay our We had a full-scale investigation going on at the yard, but we had to keep it as quiet as we could.
Then, when the inspector here took the disc from me in the pawnbroker that day, I became nervous. I was sure the music box and the second disc were still there in the shop somewhere, so I knew it was a racing disc. I had to find those articles before the police.
So that's what prompted you to break into the place that same night. With the help of your old friends, the Skulky Brothers.
I can only describe as a nightmare. While Ash and Ringo were searching the cabin, I located the music box and McGilded on the shelves of Chronicles. This was insane. Yes, I slipped it into my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief. Then, something entirely unexpected happened. What are you doing in my shop? A gunshot rang out in the shop, and I felt a sharp pain in my left arm. The broker fired his gun, and the bullet pierced your limb. Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I decided to bring my own gun with me that night, just in case. Before I knew what was happening, I'd fired back. The man had already turned to flee. I hadn't intended to fire in his direction, much less kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, the bullet hit home. It struck him in the middle of his back as he fled through the storeroom door for refuge. A sorry, sorry tale. It took place in the blink of an eye. Don't imagine Nash and Ringo ever realized what had happened at first. I was terrified, so I fled. And that's the whole story. That's everything that happened at Windy Banks on that wretched night.
Unfortunately, it's still murder, and you're still going down for it, unfortunately.
It's still murder, but I do have a degree of sympathy for him.
Yeah. But, unfortunately, the courts won't see it that way.
No, he still has to pay for his crime. There's nothing in doubt there, but just, I do feel a little sorry for him.
Yeah.
I do kind of feel like McGilded got what he deserved, so I do kind of agree with him, but he's still going away for it. Earlier, you called McGilded a monster. A man who used his wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder.
You just did the same, my guy.
What tragic irony. For what you have done is exactly the same. You've become the very monster you saw and despised so deeply in McGilded. Yes, I think I have. This has been a long and exhausting journey. However, it would seem that at last we have arrived at the truth. Inspector Grayson, what of Mr. Ashley Grayson?
He's been straight one road and was being escorted to charged with the murder of stealing your government secrets.
Very good. And you, incredibly, you will have to face charges yourself.
Yes, of course.
What transpires that you were complicit in this injustice. That fact remains whether or not you were doing so in the right. The crime is a serious reason, and you excuse it. Now to the defendants, G.M. Strong. And yet, it is time for the final adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Yes, sir. Garrett Squadron standing by, sir. This is really it now.
I can't believe they brought him back. Yeah, right? It's only been like a day.
The thing about jury duty is it's supposed to be done absolutely randomly. Of people that are unrelated to the case.
I do know of one case where the last push, the final call, the finishing whistle. My men are ready to deliver their verdicts. Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Very well. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now declare your final decisions to the court.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Trial. Game 1 over.
That's the stuff. I'm off the hook. Finally, we finally managed to do it.
finally is the word. I really wasn't sure if we'd come out on top for a while there.
Susan is right. You're the best lawyer in the world. Miss Lestrade, I am not finished with the case. Ed, what are you looking at me like that for?
You're guilty of perjury.
Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certain other crimes to consider. Ed, 2 months ago, in my courtrooms, you gave false testimony to court. And in relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Mr. McGill's property, you also attempted to abscond with Mr. McGill's property, it seems. Ed! I've never done nothing of the sort.
Of course not. It's not like you were briefly wearing Gilded's coat from your cell yesterday or anything.
And just when I was getting excited about throwing a party for James, and turning our attention to the defense, determining that, when played together, the music box discs contained a messaging instrument was, well, it was certainly a most unexpected revelation, Counsel. Quite so. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my friend's courage here. I propose a toast to demanding the government secrets be disseminated before the entire
Look, very sorry about that. It was the only way I thought I could get Inspector Gregson to admit what he'd done, so...
If I may say something on that point,
Isn't that... Oh,
it's about the sounds produced by the music box before. I do wonder if that was really Morse code at all.
What are you saying, madam?
Oh, well, it's just that I'm really rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much so that the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me, in fact. Goodness, madam. A healthy level of obsession, one feels. But I must say that, in my opinion, the sounds produced by those 2 discs were nothing more than that. A meaningless series of 2 different tones.
What? Can that really be? It wasn't Morse code after all? My lord, the defense would like to listen to the music box again. Gosh.
No. Are you off your... Now, how many times do I have to tell you those discs contain ministerial secrets, Sunshine?
This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of the government communications. We know McGilded conspired to trade national secrets with our enemies, secrets acquired from Mr. Grady. Now that that man has admitted to his crimes, we have no need to pursue the matter further.
That's really gonna bother me.
Don't worry, it'll come back up later.
I feel like it'll come up in the next game. Miss Lestrade. Yeah. That which you have seen today here in this courtroom has been extremely disturbing. Falsified evidence, intimidation, perjury, grim catalog of depravity. An appalling experience to involve me in childhood. Come on, nothing I've done seen most days in the past months. I beg your pardon. If you're weak, you pay for it. That's just how life goes. But look, I reckon I've worked something out today. We're being fair, but if you wanted to change, you gotta start it. You gotta change how you are yourself. It's a very valuable lesson. Even when you look forward to the born again Miss Lestrade, never gracing my courtroom in her presence again.
Now, I didn't say a motherfucker here.
I tried to say that. You just painted a giant flag on it. Now, with regard to the murder of Mr. Pop Bank, proprietor of a pawnbrokery business on Baker Street, I hereby declare the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, not guilty.
But you are guilty of perjury, and you're all guilty of breaking and entering.
That will be our problem.
And there was much rejoicing. Yay! Woo!
She's tweaking herself.
She's firing the pointer.
Woo!
is adjourned. And that is where we're going to cut it off today.
Yep, there's still a little bit more story, but we're going to do that next time on Thursday.
Battle.
Next time on Death Battle. Anyways, that's us for tonight. We'll see you guys again on Sunday for some Phasmophobia. I believe the Alan Wake event will finally be over. If you want to check the rest of our schedule, check our offline page. If you want to join us on our lovely community on Discord, please join us in the Poutine Munchers Discord. And if you want to watch us live, watch us here on twitch.tv/Chirpinator. We'll see you guys then.
See you later. Just so that we're clear here, next time we will conclude this game, and who knows, we may start the first case of the second game. Because this is the rare instance where these two games are literally one giant game in one. It's basically that. This is the last case of the first game, but the first case of the next game comes up like right after that.
We'll see. We're going to be talking about it in private.
Yes.